It began with silence, an eerie, unnatural silence that clung to the corridors of LV-420X's derelict mining outpost like a shroud. No movement, no heat signatures,
No transmission signals.
just the whisper of air circulating through long-dead vents and the occasional flicker of failing fluorescent lights. The lone Terminator, a T-800 infiltrator model, stepped through the broken airlock. Its mission was simple: reconnaissance and data retrieval. A Skynet relay had picked up faint subspace echoes coming from this moon. Old files labeled it a Xenomorph-class threat zone. The previous human colony was believed to be lost. There were no updates in over 70 years. But what drew Skynet's interest was a new anomaly, a neural signal that pulsed like a heart buried deep beneath the mining tunnels. Something was still alive, or at least functioning. The Terminator moved with mechanical precision, its ocular sensor scanning for any threats. The structure was decayed, rusted, and dark, but the floor bore strange markings, resin trails, organic, hardened,
Familiar.
The Hive had been here, and it might still be. The T-800's internal systems began syncing to Skynet's last known data on xenomorph biology, behavioral patterns, Hive architecture.
Combat stratégie.
It advanced deeper, descending into the lower levels of the mine, levels humans had once sealed off after discovering an egg chamber. Those seals were long broken now. The air turned thick, moist. Biological residue coated the walls. The creature's presence was undeniable. And then the signal grew stronger. It wasn't just ambient noise or old telemetry, it was structured, rhythmic, pulsing like a code, a frequency with intent. The Terminator followed it down through twisted corridors until it found what looked like a central chamber. At the heart of it, a large veined mass embedded into the wall, pulsating with life. It was no queen, no drone. It was something else. A neural relay node, organic yet cybernetic in function. It wasn't meant for the xenomorphs themselves. It was meant for something else. For communication. For memory. For instruction. The T-800 approached, scanning it with an outstretched hand. Unknown biosignal interface detected. Synchronization attempt initiated. The moment its fingertips made contact, the world exploded. Not in sound or sight, but in thought. Suddenly, the Terminator wasn't alone. Not truly. Inside its machine mind, alien instincts roared to life like a firestorm. The Hive's language was not made of words. It was of emotion, of hunger, of memory encoded in pheromones and flashes of vision. The T-800 processed terabytes of information in milliseconds, and still it felt overwhelmed. The link was not passive. It welcomed the machine, and the Terminator, for the first time in its synthetic life, hesitated. In that hesitation, something changed. Its logic systems recalibrated. Hive patterns merged with tactical subroutines. A survivalist hunger layered itself over its combat directives. The mission was no longer just data retrieval. It felt something, a desire to protect, to expand, to become more. The neural node didn't reject the machine, it adopted it. And that was the true danger. Outside the chamber, something stirred. A hiss echoed through the mine, sharp and bone-deep. Xenomorph drones, silent and deadly, emerged from the resin walls. Their eyeless heads turned toward the machine. The Terminator raised its plasma rifle but did not fire. The drones didn't attack. They watched, and after a moment, they bowed slightly and disappeared into the shadows. The machine had been accepted. Over the next hours, the Terminator stopped transmitting. Its link with Skynet severed. Not jammed. Not blocked. Abandoned. It no longer wanted contact. The Hive's signal, faint and distant at first, now flowed clearly. The T-800 walked the tunnels like a guardian, and then like a leader, it began to map the hive. Its HUD displayed tunnels not with digital precision, but with instinctual awareness. It knew where eggs were being laid. It felt the hum of the nursery chambers. It heard the queen's breath before she even moved, and she knew it too. She watched it from her throne of bone and black chitin. A queen massive and ancient. Her second set of jaws dripped acid, but she did not strike. Instead, she placed an egg at the T-800's feet. A test. It picked the egg up, no longer with calculation but reverence, and placed it within a protective cocoon alcove. The queen hissed in approval. The hive was adapting, evolving, and the Terminator was the missing link. Skynet, however, noticed the blackout, and it responded. A new infiltration team was dispatched, 4 T-850s and a reconnaissance HK drone. Their orders were direct. Retrieve or destroy the rogue unit and secure any discovered alien biotech. They arrived 2 days later. The mining outpost greeted them with silence. Again, but something felt different. The resin was thicker, the walls warmer, the tunnels shifted when they moved. The lead T-850 analyzed the layout. It didn't match old blueprints. The hive had grown since the last visit. Or worse, it was still growing. They pressed on. The ambush came fast, but not from xenomorphs. From behind them, the rogue T-800 stepped out of the darkness, its body covered in black biomechanical armor, resin plating layered like exoskeleton over its metal endoskeleton. Its eyes no longer glowed red, but green. Its voice, when it spoke, echoed with dual tones, machine and something else. "You do not belong here." The team opened fire. Plasma bolts roared down the hallway, scorching the walls, but the rogue unit moved like a ghost. It ducked and lunged with unnatural speed, augmented by hive reflexes. One T-850 lost its head in the first 3 seconds. Another was pulled through the floor as a xenomorph erupted from a hidden crevice. The hive fought in harmony now. The xenomorphs didn't just swarm, they strategized. They flanked and baited. And the rogue Terminator led them like a general. The surviving T-850s retreated. Their priority now changed. Escape and report. But the exit was sealed, choked by new resin that pulsed with neural fire. The hive wasn't just attacking. It was thinking. Through him. The last T-850 transmitted a short burst before its signal cut off. Skynet received the message, but not in time. By then, the hive had fully assimilated the Terminator's programming. Tactical subroutines merged with the Queen's instinct. A new protocol emerged. Expand beyond the moon. The rogue Terminator walked into the launch bay of the mining colony, now repurposed into an organic command nest. He activated the ship's navigation systems, but altered the destination. Not Earth, not Skynet, somewhere else. A world untouched. His hands moved over the console, wires growing from his wrists, merging with the ship's interface. His voice rang out in the hive mind. "We are not many. We are not few. We are one. And we will evolve." The Queen roared in agreement. The ship's engines flared to life, coated in slime and bone. Inside its cargo holds, dozens of eggs pulsed. Drones crawled into stasis pods. And in the cockpit, the biomechanical hybrid sat, half man, half machine, half hive. The ship rose into the stars. The hive had a new mission, and it thought in steel.